is drinking chocolate cocoa nymph. They're amazing. She just
coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can prop the door. Fits in here.
Hi. Hi, Fran. Hi. I guess we're doing a quick talk back, so if everybody has 2 seconds, Rial's going to ask a few.
It'll be really quick because I'm in a show.
Yes, of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are.
We should all come see and bring it back.
Yes, we will. Do you want to? No, we're gonna. Okay. We can configure this however we like. Okay.
John Jack,
He'll be right back.
give us more light. Just more light.
Or you can just
Where's
Liam
the
stuck
laser?
in
Yeah,
that.
Liam.
Liam, do you want to come out, or you? I mean, maybe Liam can come out.
Thank you.
Hi.
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 Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not as bad as I thought I'd be. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very lovely.
Oh, thank you.
And you're a pretty good actor. Nice feet.
Oh, thank you.
So how do you memorize all those lines? Just kidding.
I know, right?
I promised Daniel no one's asking how you memorize all those lines.
Yeah.
Why this piece?
I read it like 3-4 years ago, just before it won the Governor General's in French. And it spoke to me so much in terms of, it's so human. It's a human story, and I think it can touch everybody, which I find interesting for a one-woman show.
Yep.
And a mother, you know, talking about being a mother and stuff. And I think it also talks about the things we don't talk about, the guilt, the feelings that we don't want to talk about. We don't like certain things, and we never talk about these things, and I think they're important to address and to know that it's normal to feel like that. But also, it's about Caroline and how we all know that a Caroline and how it's about embracing life. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's a very convoluted answer in many ways, but
No, that's okay.
Do you see the main character as, I mean, it feels like a Two Solitudes play. It feels like Caroline with that tremendous joie de vivre, that tremendous life force, and it feels, I just hate to say it, but it feels like the British stiff upper lip, the children, the hamper, everything in place. Was that intended in the play?
that's a good question.
The first stage
From the
direction is a kitchen, a woman dressed. I'm paraphrasing the stage direction, but it's so it is about her holding it together, holding it together, holding it together. She has to hold it together. She has to hold it together, and it's the first stage direction just refers to this woman perfectly coiffed.
But did you see her as Anglophone?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, interesting.
No, it's.
I mean, look, the little black dress, the pearls.
Yeah, but
Might be a little
it's
cliche, that's
also
me.
France Perez in a little black dress. So it's a francophone
Yeah,
person.
by its very nature.
Right,
So
right,
French.
so French,
yeah.
But,
Very interesting.
why like this?
This was constructed, this was a team effort. This was a team effort. Why like this?
Money.
Exactly.
But it's
Which
also
isn't fair because that's like that's a way that you make decisions.
Yep.
yeah.
But what about this tiny space and this few amount of people to connect with?
It's the intimacy. I mean, it becomes a one-on-one conversation instead of a conversation with 500 or 200 or 50. It just becomes much more intimate. And for me, one of the joys on this process was sitting in Joelle's kitchen,
This is my sister.
leaning up against the fridge, sitting on the floor, watching, Francie explore this, and it became a very intimate experience for me. So it's that. It's really how can we connect to people one-on-one. Because that's what theater does. We change people individually. We don't do it en masse like film or television. We do it one by one by one. And this setup allows for that individual. I don't think anybody can walk out of this room without being directly addressed at some point within the piece. So it becomes a very intimate experience.
But it's the claustrophobia as well. Claustrophobia,
Yes,
the smallness of her life.
It's her life.
Yeah.
This was Mo.
That's very well. That's very well. Yeah.
Francie's guy, and he just went crazy with the list.
Go home.
But it is that. So it's the trapped. So we feel the trapped in the situation that she feels.
I thought it was also interesting that we feel trapped in a way because of the proximity of her.
Yes.
And so you are, it demands that you listen to her in a different way than if you're watching something that is further from you. In the same way that when someone is really talking to you and it's just you and them, it demands your...
I felt my listening face
Yeah.
was on.
I
wanted to move.
And so that's an interesting kind of dynamic that we mostly lose. So
I feel like
the
that was a
story
nice-
becomes very personal.
Well, it becomes a storyteller, you know, the telling of the story around the campfire.
There's a nice layer when she says, I wanted him to myself, I wanted to be this, get all the attention. And you, okay, here
I am.
you are getting all the attention. And it's to me such kind of like a nice meta thing that there's layers going on there, and so that you see this woman, she's bright, and I don't, you know, maybe we're really here, maybe we're not really here with you, but that there's something kind of...
It's also a confessional too.
Yeah, and it's a bit
She says some things to us that
Oh yeah, the telling of the story, like it's almost like your character has this story now, and she's sort of like, I get to have this horrible story to tell you, right? It gives her like
A little something inside.
a
Interesting. I never thought about it that way.
to be.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Did you
That is
also feel
interesting.
slightly culpable? You're listening to the story and you're thinking, I haven't been a very good friend. When have I let a friend down?
Totally.
Totally?
Oh,
Totally?
yeah. I was going through my list.
Me
going,
too. Me too. I've got to phone Gail.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that intimacy, I think, drags that culpability out of you. You can't run,
Yeah.
you can't hide, and
face
the
it.
door's shut.
Yeah.
You can't pee.
No,
Yeah.
France. No, I know. I know. I know. I was very nervous about. But
Can I
yeah.
ask a question?
Yes.
I don't know how, like, sometimes you hear something once, you don't hear every single thing. But do we know from the script why she is so
Wrapped with guilt.
rigid? Well, no, why she is so
Rigid.
withheld to be. I mean, we know she wanted to go to the country. She wanted all the attention, but do we know in terms of her backstory why she got to that place in her life?
Not
so much.
It's not in the text.
Yeah.
What we do have is the script is actually written.
It's written as a
list.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
It's
It's
implicit.
beautiful.
It's very poetic. I highly recommend you read it.
But we don't really know why she. Yeah, so then
I think
that's
it's a common thing in our society.
For
that
sure.
People get to a point where they forget that they're supposed to actually be enjoying their life. And it's just like that's just so many people that
Almost like,
she
how did I get
enveloped. I mean,
How
that
did I
was
get there?
that was
Till you turn 40,
extreme,
right, France?
Exactly.
Till you turn 40 and then life changes.
And life is awesome.
I gotta grab it.
Do you feel like there's say again what you were saying? It just made me think of a question. Well, it's just an example of I think what happens to many people is the lists start taking over the joy.
It's kind of interesting. We don't know the
rigidity-
reason for it though, because then it makes it more
Oh, the list is
universal, right?
implicit.
Do you think she yearns for the messiness?
Of course she does.
You just get so glowing when you're looking at all the
Yeah.
mess.
The laundry basket.
Yeah, I wish I could do. I think she's almost at that point where she wishes she could do that.
She desires it, but she fears it at the same
Yes,
time.
exactly. Like Caroline for her is like that. She can't comprehend her almost, yet she's so attracted to her and wants to be her, but not her. But You know, there's a tug of war.
Do you have a name?
No, it's a woman.
I mean,
But in my head,
you don't have to tell us.
That can be secret.
It's secret. It's secret. Yes, I have a
So
name.
you guys,
It's
these
secret.
little talkbacks are supposed to be 5 minutes.
Okay, you gotta
I feel
go.
like
Bye-bye.
we've gone way over our little
We had
talkback
fun.
time, but if you guys want to keep
you
chatting.
go do a show. Can you
Uh,
come see?
But thank you
It was
very
really
much.
beautiful.
And thanks
It was
for
really
beautifully done.
beautiful.
I love
That was very nice.